What's going on, YouTube? Relentless here, bringing you yet another episode of Division Builds. I hope everyone is enjoying their Good Friday. If you are like myself out there that celebrate Easter, then I hope the Easter Bunny brings you some good old milk chocolate goodies this Sunday. But anyways, I want to give a big shout out to Revolution Gaming. You can check out their link in the description below. Awesome Facebook community. We just don't talk the talk as far as being positive, and we don't 1 minute completely bash and call the division garbage and then turn around and boast about actually being involved in the development of the game, such as other people seem to have done. Yes, this game still has a lot of potential, which is yet to be seen, but at least they are tending to work on it. And hopefully they will continue to do so, and hopefully they will get rid of that Ninja Bike messenger bag. But also I want to give a shout out to C4 Neuro Gaming Fuel. You can check out their link in the description below, and you can use code REVOLUTION between now and April 22nd to get $20 off and to receive an additional 20% off of your order. Now they have two great awesome flavors, which is blue raspberry and watermelon. And if you're looking for something to get your brain focused and elevate your gaming to the next level, and you don't want to buy those expensive energy drinks, then I recommend try out C4 Neuro. It's a great product, and it's definitely something to check out, and the flavors are absolutely awesome. Also, we have our giveaway still going on. We are 24 subs away from giving away that Cinch gaming controller, and as you can see, my DualShock controller right now is getting low, but it's an awesome controller. It's a $180 value. It has Cinch Tech technology, has the buttons on the back instead of the paddles, like the scuff controllers, because the paddles tend to break a lot. And also, the Cinch Tech is a remapping technology of those buttons. You can actually use a tablet or your phone to do remapping, and it also keeps track of all the stats in whatever game you may be playing through the controller's tech into your laptop, your tablet, or your smartphone, and you can keep track of all your statistics and elevate your game to the next level. Also, it has gaming grip and trigger devils. Trigger stops they're fully adjustable. You can increase or decrease the amount of pressure that it takes to push on your buttons to actually ADS or to fire your weapon if you're playing a first-person shooter. And also, you never have to take your thumbs off the thumbsticks, such as like if you're playing COD and you're jetpacking or having to reload into Division, whatever the case may be. Their link is also in the description below, so go check them out. But without further ado, let's jump right into this build. Now, as you can see, I'm running 4-piece Banshee, Specialized, and Rapid. Now, we all know the talents behind Banshee. This is why I call it pretty much the Road Killer. The 20% looted DZ funds, which for me doesn't really matter, but the 10% damage to target out of cover does. And then the most important is the 4-piece set bonus. While Rogue, all ammo is completely refilled every 30 seconds. Damage taken from non-Rogue players reduced by 10%. And then also, while not Rogue, damage to Rogue players is increased by 10%. So if you're planning on, whether it be going Rogue or like I do, hunting Rogues, then you'll get an additional 10% to Rogue targets. And then also, what makes this actually a fun build, and it guarantees you, well, I would say guarantee, depending on your skill, this bonus is increased to 20% for 10 minutes after being killed by Rogue. So let's say you're getting checkpoint camped in your group, and you die by Rogue. When you respawn, you're going to have a 20% damage bonus to your weapons. So, like my weapons that I'm running here, so if the Bakan is 20k damage, then add 4,000 to that, and you're going to be spitting out 24k. Or if you're running the Black Market Sausage, you can do the math, add 20% to that, and also the MP5ST right here, add 20% to that. And my talents on the weapons are Responsive, Deadly, and Vicious. And then as you can see, my magazine size, my large optics, and my small muzzle, and my small underbarrel. Moving on to the pecan, with deadly, destructive, and the pecan talent, each kill makes the next reload have 20% extra bullets compared to its base. And then as you can see, my magazine size, my large optics, the large muzzle, and then my baby, my go-to, the sausage, with brutal, responsive, and competent. And then the magazine size, the small optics, and the small underbarrel, which is, I highly recommend putting that optimal range on your optics and underbarrel when running the sausage, and the range on it will actually outrange a SMG, as you can see here. And that is pretty much my go-to secondary. By no means is this build min-maxed, but it is highly effective and efficient when it comes to going rogue or hunting rogues. As you can see, my firearms are 7253, stamina is 4352, electronics 3357, which gives me almost 280k DPS on my pecan, 281 with my SMG 9, and then 241 with the sausage. I have 323.256 toughness and 133k skill power. Now let's move on to the gear. Rapid chest piece, good armor roll, base armor roll of 1996, which is a good year. I was a junior in high school at then, if that tells you my age. But rapid decreases cooldown for healing skills by 15%. Its major attributes are 15,974 in health, which is equivalent to 1,000 main stat of stamina, with 4% health on a kill. Instead of health on a kill, I'd rather resist all or exotic damage resilience. That would pretty much be my go-to, or skill haste. And the minor attributes, you would want ammo capacity. But if you're a rogue, then every 30 seconds your ammo is refilled, so it's not necessary to have ammo capacity in the minor attributes if you are planning on going rogue. And the mod slots, 259 stamina, 3% skill haste, 261 firearms, and 3% skill haste. Now moving on to the specialized backpack, 1258 firearms roll, decent base armor roll of 1308, and its major attributes 13,257, and the minor attributes is 60% bleed resistance. But like I said, if you're going rogue, then your ammo will be refilled every 30 seconds. But if you're planning on hunting rogue, then you want ammo capacity on the minor attributes on your chest piece and your backpack. Now, if you want to go a little more tanky, you can also switch up to this specialized backpack with high stamina, or you can go with one with the same amount of firearms but boost your skill power instead of having the additional health. But as you can see, the toughness drops 27k. So in my opinion, for what things that I have as far as the gear pieces, this is the most viable option for me currently. And then it's mod slot, 248 stamina, 3% skill haste, with 6% first aid self heals in the performance mod slots. Now I know that you out there probably have better gear pieces than what I have. Also better rolled stamina with skill haste, or firearm with skill haste, or electronics with skill haste. The RNG's gods have not been good to me whatsoever. I've probably rolled thousands on thousands, and basically I've gotten 6 or 7 great ones with skill haste, and then I get stuck with these puny ones, such as you see here, with 248 stamina on them. Moving on to the mask, 1251 and stamina, 969 armor. Overall, decent armor. It only goes to 1,001. And the major attributes, I have 9,260 skill power, and minor attributes, 14% blind death resistance. Instead of that, bleed resistance, burn resistance also would be much more viable in those slots, and that would make it almost perfect due to the simple fact of, Predator's Mark, shock turrets, flame turrets. Those are the common ones that are in the DZ that you will be running this build. So therefore, that would be better in the minor attribute slots. Now moving on to the mod slot, 263 electronics and 3% skill haste. Going on to the knee pads, 1269 firearms, 1463 armor, which is there are better armor options out there. And I'm pretty sure those of you out there do have better armor rolls. And if you do, with this build, with these the way it's set up, then your toughness will actually be a little higher than what mine is currently. In the major attribute spot, I have 16,585, which is also, like I said, is equivalent to 1,000 base main stat of stamina. And the minor attributes, shock resistance, disorient resistance, and blind death resistance. Like I said before, though, the major ones that you want, shock resistance, bleeding resistance, and burn resistance, if you can get those three in the minor attributes, then you have a good set of knee pads. As you can see, I have also these down here, but the damage to elites, disrupt, and blind death resistance if I want to put out a little more damage, but it's only 8% crit hit damage, so that's why I opted in for the additional health to be a little more on the tanky side. Moving on to the mod slots, 263 electronics, 3% skill haste with 6% first aid self-heal. Moving on to the holster, 1225, 1239, and 1271. Decent overall main stats, but I prefer to have them over 1250, but these are my two choices. Either I roughly have a little more electronics and on one and a little more stamina on the other, and then one has an additional almost 8,000 in health, or I went with the 7% skill haste. So you can mix and match depending on what you are running, and since I'm more or less building upon skill haste for having just moderate skill power so I can get my heals back a lot faster, that's why I opted in for the 7% extra skill haste. And in the mod slots, I have 5.5% first aid self-heal. Now the gloves, you can choose not to run rapid. You can run a Banshee chest piece, such as this one that I have here, with health and enemy armor damage. And be a little more tankier, and then substitute that for Savage Gloves. But for the additional 15% cooldown, decreased cooldown on my healing skills, that's why I like the Rapid Chest Piece above everything else. And these gloves is the only ones that I have found. It has really low armor at 860, and as you can see on these Predator's Mark gloves here, that is the highest you can get on the base armor. So if I had a better base armor roll of 1,001, then that would make me a little more tankier as well. But these have a good firearms roll, and the major attributes, SMG damage, skill haste, and health on a kill. Now, if I had to choose and could actually find a better set of Banshee gloves, I would want at least 950 or higher in base armor to make them adequate, and so these gloves are just filler gloves. And also, I'd want to have LMG damage or shotgun damage because I do like the SASG 12, and then skill haste plates into it, and then instead of health on the kill, crit hit chance. But that's what I would choose if that was, for me. I have these gloves down here with crit hit chance, crit hit damage, and shotgun damage. If I chose to switch the chest piece out for the Banshee chest piece and went with the Savage Gloves. It's all based on personal preference and your playstyle and how you actually, PvP in the DZ, because we don't have the same playstyle as everyone else. We choose to play differently, and that's what makes each of us unique, and that's what makes each build unique to its actual individual, because it's all based on the playstyle and how they want to perceive the game and PvPing in the DZ. So some of us prefer SMGs like me, some prefer ARs, and also some prefer shotguns or LMGs. The sky's the limit. So this is not more or less the exact way on how to build this, because this is by no means min-maxed. But if 4-piece Banshee Rapid Specialized, or you can go 4-piece Banshee with Savage and Specialized, but Specialized backpack is more or less vital nowadays for that additional skill power, because as we all know, skill power is pretty much the go-to on any build. You want adequate enough skill power, so that way you get some kind of value out of popping your heals, and you just don't pop a heal and you get nothing absolutely for it. So this is the build. I recommend trying it out, especially if you like hunting rogues or going rogues yourself. An LMG is always a good pair for it, because you get the 10% from the 3-piece Banshee out of cover, and then you get an additional out of cover damage from using LMG, such as 12%, so that'll be a total of 22%. so that always works out really well. And my favorite go-to LMG is the pecan, but as you can see, I do have a hungry hog. I just prefer the pecan because it's more on the lines of an AR, and I actually maneuver a lot better with the pecan than I would a hungry hog. And plus the reload speed is a lot better, even though if you're such as using this and just spraying down cover fire more or less for let's say your group while they advance or flank the rogues that you're hunting, or other players that are hunting you while you're rogue, then you can go with the hungry hog because it is belt fed and can have up to 200 rounds in it. But if you're planning on flanking, being one of the flankers yourself, then I would suggest going with the pecan, because that way it's much easier to ADS and it's much easier in landing shots with it because it has better accuracy than the hungry hog. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please smash that like button. All your support is greatly appreciated. And don't forget to check out the links in the description for Revolution Gaming, for the C4 Neuro, if you're looking some substitute instead of those pricey energy drinks. And also check out Cinch Gaming Controllers. You can use code CINCH4206 to receive 5% off on those. And like I said, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Let me know what you guys think in the description below. Whether it's a thumbs up, and those of you that like thumbs down, if you're going to thumbs down it, at least give a reason why if you don't mind. I very much appreciate your feedback, and looking forward to conversate in the comments with everyone. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see.
I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family. Credit cards in the scammers, hitting the licks in the van.